This podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only and contains jokes, satire, and language that may not be suitable for all audiences. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not reflect the opinions of any employers or sponsors. The stories we share are our version of events. If you believe a story we share is about you and you remember it differently, please, by all means, go start your own podcast and tell your truth. Welcome to episode 2 I feel like I'm so powerful. Welcome to episode 2 of Gold Star Wars Going Deep, which I cackled when I came up with that name, by the way.
I love it.
Gold Star Whores, where gold stars for us did not stop in kindergarten. Clearly, we talk about it. We constantly achieve them. My husband just gave me one for keeping it together, which was nice. Lisa Wilson.
I'm your co-host, Lisa Smith.
And episode 2 of Gold Star Whores is going to be a deep dive into the DNA of what makes a Gold Star whore a Gold Star whore. From our perspective, of course. But before we get into that, I want to do a new segment at the top of the show, because last week was episode 1. That's called That's Not What I Meant. So it's a chance for us to kind of go back and do over. So the first one that I want to say is that after listening to episode 1, I will tell you that I personally understand that nobody likes to know it all. So I'm hoping we don't come across as know-it-alls. I'm hoping I don't come across as somebody who is a vapid, self-centered asshole. But, you know, just know that you guys, if anything, I'm the don't video, right? And I think Lisa has her don't video experiences. Like, if you don't want to do this, you would watch this. But we have both crawled our way out of the pits into a good situation. So I think that we do have some helpful things to offer, but we're trying to do it through the lens of humor and then appreciation and creating an environment that will hopefully help all the baby Gold Star whores out there that are maybe just starting out, or the seasoned Gold Star whores that are veterans that just need to look at life through a different perspective. That's for you. The second thing I want to kind of talk about is, so my husband listened to the podcast and he said, you know, that people are calling people as Keanu Reeves and asking for money. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's like a big thing right now. So Gold Star whores, if Keanu Reeves calls you and asks you for money, it's not him. Okay, I'm just gonna be the voice of truth for you. If you're scrolling through a late night Instagram and Keanu Reeves DMs you, it's not Keanu Reeves. And it's definitely not Keanu Reeves, as he's like, can I have $10? Like that's not. And I think
not him.
It's not him. So please don't fall for any shenanigans. And if you're out there thinking you're going to fake Keanu Reeves me, just know that, like, I'm going to see the candy before I get in the van. So just... I don't think that you can, like, get to me maybe the way that you do. And then last but not least, so last week I quoted incorrectly. So one of my favorite quotes that I say a lot is, there's a special place in hell for women who don't help other women. Mm-hmm. And I credited that to Margaret Thatcher incorrectly. It's actually icon Madeleine Albright says that quote. If you don't know Madeleine Albright, she is a champion for women all over the world. She's remarkable. So read up on her.
So Lisa, what was your gold star from last week?
So my gold star last week, I actually have a good one.
Okay.
So I was in a meeting, and when I get into a meeting, I put on my, like, when I'm doing a project to get ready for a meeting, which is what I was doing with a gold star giver. So it was intense. So I put on my headphones and I listened to certain music. By the way, I listened to Tegan and Sarah. I don't know why, but the album The Con, helps me get into a mind where I can just really write creatively. So I was, like, really getting after this whole thing. And someone called my cell phone and it rang through, and because I was like, and I pick up the phone, and it's this person that I'm starting a new project with next week.
Okay.
And they were like, hey, I wanted you to run me through this project. And I was like, well, we have a meeting on Monday. Like, we'll go through that on Monday. And they're like, but I want to go through it now. And I'm like, do you want me to move the meeting from Monday to today? Because I can look to find time. And they're like, no, I just want you to tell me about it. And then I want you to send me anything you have documentation wise on it. I'm like, well, that sounds a lot like the meeting that we have on Monday.
Yeah. That
And I'm
is
like,
the meeting.
Right. And I'm starting to get frustrated because I'm losing my mojo on my Gold Star project. And that meeting is like 5 minutes around the corner. And I'm like, I'm not like, look, like I have many, many jobs. This is only one of them. That's why I set time on Monday for us to get together. And I was going to give you undivided attention to be able to go through all this. So I'm not really clear on what you're expecting from me right now. And they were like, well, I need to understand what's going on because I think I've been put in charge. And so of course my Gold Star hackles rise and I'm like, in charge, please. And then I was like, and I could hear the struggle in the voice. And I was like, okay, Lisa, this is somebody who, if you think you like control, this person is control on steroids. Like you can hear her frustration that she feels like she's behind when nothing has started, which tells me that this person may need more time, like home study. Like they got to research it on their own and get ramped up.
That's fair.
Before they're comfortable going into a meeting. So I was like, okay, so let's have a little empathy. And I was like, here's what I can do. I can send you this and this. And then on Monday, we will talk about it in detail. But will that work? And they were like, yes, thank you so much. That is so helpful. And I was like, great, right? So that is what I call development.
Okay.
And it's a little empathy to where I stopped in the moment. And rather than trampling all over that person, because I didn't have time, I kind of tried to acknowledge, because I could hear it in the voice, what was going on. So that is my Gold Star for the week, that I stopped, looked, and listened.
Love it. Love it. Well, great job. Gold Star.
Thanks.
Well, my Gold Star for the week would be, I'm titling it, You're Not the Worst. Back to school happened. My child went back to school and I am kind of in that moment where like they're getting older. They kind of don't want their mom hanging out. It's super uncool to be seen with your mom. Extremely uncool to have your mom ever talk to you in like next to another child. And it's like back to school night. And I'm like, I have to go. Like, you don't just send your teenager to back to school night by themselves. I didn't think you did. And so I was getting really nervous because like last year it was like, I cannot be seen with you. This year I was like, okay, like, how do you want this to go down? He's like, I don't care. Like, let's go.
You get the Gold Star for not being the worst and raising a kid who grew that much in 1 year. It wasn't that way for me. Like, I loved my parents. I thought my parents were the coolest people on the planet. Like, I remember I was in 5th grade and my mom had Farrah Fawcett hair. If you don't know what that is, you got to Google it, kids. Like, she had this cool feathered hair. And my mom had like the exact hairdo, and she had a long like leather coat that was patchwork leather, different colors of leather, and jeans, and then she had thigh-high leather boots on over her jeans. And then my dad walked in wearing a matching jacket, but all black underneath. And I was like everyone stopped and stared at them. My parents were very cool. I wish I could have been as cool as both my mom and dad. But
very cool.
So whenever they showed up, I was always very excited to see them.
I love that.
I wish they would sit with me. Didn't always.
There is hope. There is hope. There's definitely hope for
there is hope.
Children.
Because you're a cool ass mom. One of the things that I got asked a lot when kind of shopping around our draft version of episode 1. People just didn't really get what a Gold Star horror was right off the bat. So we are going to spend today kind of walking through what we each believe is a Gold Star horror. And some of you out there might think, oh, I'm not a Gold Star horror, but 100% you are. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, we all deserve our accolades, right? So for me, I think anybody could be a gold star whore. Girls, boys, employees, bosses, teachers, for sure podcast hosts. I mean, that's kind of why we're doing this. Kids, adults, husbands, wives. Like as I was driving the other day thinking about all the different gold star whores in my life, they're not all the same. Our drive to give and receive gold stars is different. I think between all the different personality types and the different ages and all those good things. But one of the things I was kind of saying, because, we talked about this in episode 1, I am definitely a true crime girly, and so are you.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day I pulled up in front of AM PM. I work bi-coastal, so I was up very early, like middle of the night where I live, getting ready to go do some work. And I saw a guy with like 7 ice buckets, just like loading up the ice buckets. I'm like, that guy for sure has a body at home. Like if I had creeped up on the truck, there might have been some lie. I mean, but I assumed that's what it was. I don't know. What else are you doing in the middle of the night with 7 ice buckets at 8 p.m.?
It's a little sus,
a
especially, yeah, a little sus.
For sure. But it got me on this trail because remember, I'm like converging my world of true crime and then gold. And I'm like, you know what? They're serial killers are 100% gold star whores, right? Because they they go to the funeral, right? And like check it all out. They sometimes have trophy gardens where they go back and relive like their gold star moment. And then like the ones that write the letters to the police, like, haha, you're so dumb. You can't catch me. I'm so great. Like they're just looking for recognition.
Yeah.
To say, yes, you are the serial killer of all time. You are definitely a gold star whore. But what do you think, Lisa? What makes up a gold star whore for you?
I think in this environment that we're in, social media plays a big part. We would be mistaken to not think that influencers are gold star whores in their own right. I think, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I want to be clear, there is nothing wrong with it. But if you think about what that looks like every day, like posting for likes, posting for positive feedback, posting for growing your brand, and just how the momentum can either happen really fast and you go viral, and that's super exciting. And then also the risk of being canceled. I think so that constant drive to do more, be more, and continue to get those gold stars every day. And it's instant gratification as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
I agree. And I mean, we're going to get into next, like, why do we think we are gold star whores? I mean, I spent a lot of time on that this week, and I just kind of was like, well, I think that if I knew the answer to that, I would be on my yacht right now and we'd be having this conversation when Oprah was sitting next to me. I feel like we're constantly evolving and constantly learning about, what it is that makes us tick.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's definitely not about attention. Like, I don't want attention. Like, I want appreciation, authentic appreciation,
mm-hmm.
where someone is like, and we all know what that moment feels like when we're out there just trudging, just trudging in the trenches, rowing the boat, doing whatever we do every single day, that grind, and someone sees you and they're like, hey, wow, like, this is wow. Like, I see you. I see the unicorn in you. And that is a connection that is super valuable. And when people, like, you can either walk away from a conversation and say, hey, I wish I could have done that better. Or like I will, when I have a really good conversation, I will like karate chop and walk. Like, I killed that conversation. I'm so great. Okay. So Lisa, what do you think makes you a gold star whore?
I definitely would say that what makes me a gold star whore is it's not good enough for me just to be on the team. I want to be a leader on the team. It's not good enough for me just to be a part of a organization. I want to be the best employee that I can be. So in doing that, I will sometimes kill myself, in lack of better words, to achieve those things. In my personal life, I want to be the best mom I can be. So I will overcompensate for certain things.
hard.
And
Especially with all the other moms.
I can't keep up. I
That's a
cannot keep
lot.
up, could never keep up with things like Elf on the Shelf. A lot of things I could not keep up with. And
Can I tell
I
you something
know
that
that I
like
don't
brought
track.
out of me from
Yeah.
like Gold Star moms in my neighborhood? So the boo bag, have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay, so you know, like it's in the same vein as like Elf on a Shelf,
Okay.
right? And like a Secret Santa. But
Okay.
these Gold Star moms have so much like they're so kind of wanting to engage, be
Okay.
as positive as we can, that they created this thing called Boo Bag, which is at Halloween, leading up to Halloween, you open your door and there's a bag of candy and like a little like boo, you've been booed. And then you have to like create another boo bag and go boo someone else's house.
It's kind of cute.
I mean, it died at my house because I had no idea what it was, and I don't eat candy from strangers unless it's Keanu Reeves. But like,
That's cute though.
yeah, I didn't eat any of that candy. I threw it all away. But when the neighbors noticed I didn't do it, they did talk to me, and they're like, they knew. They're like, okay, so
Because
we
it
just have
stopped. It stopped at
it
your
stopped at
house.
my house, and they were like, "Did you not know what that?" I'm like, "I didn't know who that was from. I had no idea what a
Yeah.
boo bag was." But they are all gold stars,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's a great example of like how sometimes though in particular communities, whether it's like the parent community, in your workplace, in your exercise community, there's always those overachievers that sometimes also make you feel bad that you're not on that gold star level. And so I think I continue to chase them. I will say I'm a gold star chaser for sure in all things in life.
Everything I do
Everything I
is
do.
is talking. I was thinking earlier this week when we were talking about kind of some of our shared story histories, and we're going to talk about Gold Star Casualties. That's coming up. But I really thought about us when we in our younger days. Lisa was such like Lisa meant business.
Yeah.
Like there was no shenanigans. There was no like she was so serious about making sure that not only did they meet the expectation, but that there was always a wow factor and that there was always something like exceptional about what she did. So much so that I think she was the first person I ever worked with that I just had unconditional trust.
Mm.
And I think that that's something that, you know, is important, right? Is that you want to make sure that you don't give that unconditional trust to the wrong people. And sometimes when you have gold star whores and that like you have that shared connection and you're like, wow, they're awesome, they're great. Like this person is like somebody I want to get a gold star from, that you don't trust the wrong person in that as well. So I used to travel a lot and you know, as mean as I say that I am, and
You're
I think
not.
I'm incredibly authentic, and that has been a compliment and an insult both to me in my career and in my life. Because you don't come to me if you don't want the facts, right? So I
Yeah.
think that we both have that kismet connection a little bit. And I used to travel a lot, and people would always come out of the woodwork and be like, "Hey, oh my God, it's Lisa Wilson!" Like, because I was in videos and I traveled a lot back in our past life. And so they would bring their parents up to like meet me, right? Oh my gosh, this person, right? So like that's the kind of gold star as well, like that acknowledgement that I connected with somebody and that it was a positive connection, like that I carry with me as well. I mean, that's kind of why we do this, right? Is to have those connections.
Looking back too, there was a lot of trust that was given to you in the position that you were in to create, pave the way, I think, for people who were coming up in the business and, to learn from you. Some of it was able to be duplicated, but I think that there's just something inherently special about you and the way that you drove business, built teams, and created legacy.
Giving myself a gold star for that because that was really nice and I
Well,
appreciated
you
it.
deserve it. You deserve it.
Thanks, man. And again, like I'm really hard on myself. Lisa, you are very hard on yourself as well.
I'm the
But at
worst.
the end of the day, you're not the worst. You are, again, I can count on my hand on fingers on one hand the people in this world that I unconditionally trust professionally, and you are number one out of everybody.
I definitely was somebody that would do anything that you asked me to do in the hopes to get your
Sure
approval.
did. So that's going to bring us into our next section called Gold Star Horrors in the Wild. So one of the things that Lisa and I were kind of talking about when we were putting together this week's episode is like, how do you see a gold star horror in the wild? Like, how do you know you're around other gold star horrors? And so I was sharing, like, one of my stories is, you know, at my spin studio, and this is universal at any spin studio where you have to like reserve your bike, that front row of the spin studio, 100% gold star horrors, because you have to like get up at midnight and book that bike, that special bike that you like, and you're in the very front where you are the apple of the spin instructor eye, that you are there to show that like you're the best at spinning, right?
Yeah.
Another is if you have ever cleaned a tile floor's grout in a large expansive space that is not your own with a toothbrush and on your hands and knees all night long, you are
All night
100%
long.
a gold star horror. Lisa, give me some other gold star horrors in the wild.
Well, I think if you were to be searching for that approval, like I was just saying, and your boss asked you to be a still model in a retail window for hours on end, no break, don't move, stay there in a plastic skirt and a hologram t-shirt in hopes to drive traffic, bring business to the store, and you do it without hesitation. You're the first one to raise their hand because you want to do it. You're going to be the one that helps out the cause. All the while your manager, her name might be Lisa, is cackling laughing.
Yep. Okay,
Yep.
so listen,
That could be.
I
That's
have to
one
give
example.
some context. So there is nothing I would not do to drive results.
Agree.
Within legal means, right? And I was constantly like, when most people lay their baby head down at night to go to sleep, I would lay down and be like, how am I going to drive profit? How am I going to drive profit? How am I going to drive? And it was like, I'm a machine, a relentless machine when it comes to it. And I had been walking, you know, where we worked, and I saw that, you know, they have those performers, you know, that like paint themselves gold and stand or whatever. And so I was like, huh. And people stop and give them money, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, huh. So I come into the store and I'm like, hey, Lisa. And she was brand new, baby gold star whore, baby gold star whore. And I'm like, hey. She's like, what? I'm like, put on this outfit, because it was an outfit that a mannequin was supposed to be wearing. I'm like, and be like one of those live action people in the windows. Did not blink. Was like, great. Went and changed. Like, not a challenge. Was like, yep, I'm on. Got into that window, and people loved it. Like, they loved it. They would be walking by and they'd be like staring at her, and then she would like look at me and be like, oh, like, and then they would come in, right? And that, but I think, and then that drove traffic, and that once they were in, they were mine. You know, we owned them. It drove traffic and it drove profit, and that is what we would do. But the downside is, and again, I think we'll definitely talk about kind of like the dark side of being a gold star whore, and this I think leads into this, is that you have sometimes gold star casualties.
Yes.
And in this case, Lisa became a gold star casualty, because here's the deal. Here's what you have to learn, is that once you do these things, you have to continue doing them.
Yes.
Like, there's, just because you were great today, we worked in an industry that we still both have PTSD from, because it wasn't about being great today. It was, okay, well, I'm glad you had a good day yesterday, but literally you will be fired today if you don't have a better day. than last
Yeah,
week.
or replaced. It was a culture of the shiny new toy, and every day in that industry there was a shiny new toy. And we were also in an environment and a city that was very much the newest, latest, hottest, coolest thing we had to be that and show up constantly upping ourselves every day.
Every day. I just have to paint a picture for you guys because otherwise I don't think you'll really get like why we both have PTSD on a work trip. And we walk into this VP who is quite literally telling us, I don't care if you were number one last week. It's about what are you going to do for me today? And
Legit.
not in like a encouraging way, but in
No.
a I'm gonna slit your throat if you don't figure this out kind of way. And literally
Yeah.
it was we went for, I mean, I was 17 years, Lisa was 20 plus years in this
Mm-hmm.
industry, and it's present in every industry, you guys, but there are these people and they always happen to rise to the top that are not gold star whores for anyone but themselves, which makes
True.
them a sociopath, right? Like professional sociopaths. And they happen to always rise up to these executive positions,
Yeah.
right? Because it's success at any cost. And Lisa and I, as tough as we talk, and it's never been success at any cost for us.
No.
Did I put Lisa in a window for 12 hours without a break? Yes, I did. Did I forget that I had done that? Yes, I did. Right. So, I mean, and I've got gobs of stories, guys. Like I've got books filled with stories of things like this. So it's really just a matter of making sure that when you are either in the face of a professional sociopath that literally every day is like, today's your last day if you don't figure it out. It was
Yeah.
kind of like the Dread Pirate Roberts, like every day from The Princess Bride. Like
Yeah.
literally every day it was, if you don't do this, you're going to get fired. Because that environment is not okay. There's never a reason to take that from anyone. I did it for so long because I didn't think I could do anything else. Like I had never
Right.
done anything else. It was basically how I filled up every single day, all day. I didn't live a life. All I did was work. And when I mean all I did was work, I legit mean all I did was work. And Lisa, the same, right? And that is not a way, you're never going to get anywhere because, again, you have to consistently talk yourself. So it doesn't matter how great you were, you have to talk yourself. And I really wish that, like, old lady Gold Star Whore could reach back to baby Gold Star Whore Lisa and be like, hey, like, don't take this because you deserve better. But, you know, I didn't really get to do that. But let's talk more about Gold Star Casualties, because I still feel like as on a pedestal as I am right now, I have done some terrible things, and some of them were not intentional, some of them were intentional. But a Gold Star Casualty, if you missed episode 1, go back and listen, like and subscribe.
Okay.
Go back and listen and learn about a Gold Star Casualty. What that means is either a person or persons that suffered stress or got trampled on the way to me getting a gold star, right? So if you stand between me and the person who's going to give me my gold star, this is happening now. I have a person right now that I literally will walk across fire and make the mistake at the same time. I do this, right? I put these people up on a pet. They deserve it though. They're really exceptional. And there's a project that we have to get done. And last week, nothing had been done. And I was like, okay, we've got until next week. And if it's not done, I'm getting another team. Sorry, but that's the breaks, kids. So does that mean those people probably worked all weekend to try to get stuff done? Yes. Does it mean that they overpromised and that they were under delivering? Also, yes. So am I the bad guy here? I don't think so. I think that I was very clear about what we needed to get done. They told me they could do it, and then they didn't. So the consequences of that action are that I'm going to say, okay, look, like if you don't get it done, you're between me and a gold star. You're going to get trampled on, and not in a mean way.
Not in
But
a
like,
mean way,
like,
though.
hey, you know what? You're out. Someone else is in, right? So I think that is what I think is a gold star casualty.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree. So when I look back at all of the Gold Star casualties that have taken place in my adventures in getting a Gold Star, I can think about a couple that really stand out. And one of them would be years ago, a huge company project that happened every single quarter. It was major work. It started a year in advance, the planning process. And then when it came to execution, it was a very big deal. And you were going to be graded on how well you executed this particular project.
Mm-hmm.
And it took teams of people to prepare, not only at a corporate level, but at an in-store level, and what that looked like. So it was a big deal. And I had the opportunity to be on both sides, the corporate side as well as the store side, to understand
Mm-hmm.
kind of what went into it. So when you were executing at a store level, you didn't want to disappoint the people,
No, because it's a
right?
year-long failure.
It's a
I get it.
huge, it's a huge feat. And it would be multiple overnights, long days, all the things. There would be times where I remember looking over and people were to a point of exhaustion. And the only thing I could say is, do you need more coffee? Do you need a snack? Go grab a snack, because we're going to keep working. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
have to keep going, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was because we could never execute at any lower level than we had executed in the past, which was always at the highest level,
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
every award, right? And so there would be times where people would literally be like, I can never do that again. It's not humanly possible.
Yeah, but for us, it was like giving birth. Like you forget about the
Yeah.
pain, and when the next one came up, and you just were. I was always baffled when nobody else did that. Like it was just us.
We had kind of a unique situation, just how things were set up. But I do remember thinking, like, you got to be all in. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you want it as much as I want it? And there was also another layer to that, because if my team didn't execute at the highest level,
Mm-hmm.
there were other people that depended
Yeah.
on the work that I did. So it can also be multiple layers of
Mm-hmm.
that, and kind of feeling the pressure sometimes.
Yeah. No, the pressure, you guys drove us to do terrible things, right? So for me, it was also Lisa has been my gold star casualty probably more than anybody else. So there was a dynamic between the teams when Lisa and I worked together. Lisa was in charge of her team. I was in charge of all the teams. Everybody always had issues. I mean, that's just part of being a leader, is you are very lonely because no one cares about you and your issues. It's all about them. Like take. A lot of the times that's the job. But you know what you're signing up for when you get into those roles, especially if you were gold star whore like myself. Like, the more challenge, the better, because that's the opportunity for me to win in all of these shops versus just one. So, everyone does things differently. And I was learning to manage the different personalities, celebrate them for who they are, let them do what they got to do. And as long as it got results, I was all in, right? And we were in a very high profile location. We would have the owner of the brand just happen to walk in on a Tuesday afternoon. And so it was like you just never knew who was going to show up. So it was also that added like pressure cooker kind of environment. And I would hear people complain about other people and the way that they were doing things. And I was just like, hey, you know what? I value them. I'm sorry, you don't value them. So Lisa would come to me and she would say, hey, like the back of the house team is giving me a really hard time, specifically their manager. And I'm like, okay, well, look, I didn't want to tell Lisa at the time, but lots of people were coming to me that Lisa was giving everybody a hard time because Lisa was hard to work for. She was a little scary. I mean, you'd walk in, she'd be in like stiletto heels on the very top of a ladder changing a light, like on a tippy toe. Like, she's a badass. So, but she was also extraordinarily talented. Like, so much so that I would say she was a savant at what she did. I'd never,
Oh, that's nice.
to this day, I've never seen anybody do what she could do. and have a vision the way that her visions will come to life were, I mean, impeccable. So I was like, well, Lisa, you know, like, have you tried talking to them? Have you tried sitting down? Yes, I've tried all of that and it's getting worse. And I was like, well, okay. So, you know, I was back there and I was observing. I didn't really see anything. And again, lots of moving pieces, lots of moving
Yeah.
parts, and lots of personalities. We're going to have an episode on managing big personalities because it's a full-time job, and the big talent, big personalities. That's pretty much true in every industry.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like, let's not worry about that. And then, you know, and again, we're all prepping. We know that a visit is coming. So we're all in hyper speed mode. Like, that's the only way I can really describe it. So everyone's working. And again, Lisa comes to me. She's like, it's like in the middle of the night, right? She's like, Lisa, like, this is getting really out of hand. I need you to do something. And I'll never forget it because I was like, okay. So I go in the back and I'm talking to the team and I'm like, all of them. I'm like, what is happening? I can't keep getting pulled back here. Like, can you guys just please just work this out? Like, I value her. She's my right hand. She's wonderful. I value you. You guys are great. You do things that nobody else has ever done. We're expecting a lot out of each other. So let's just throw each other a little respect and just figure it out. They were like, oh, yeah. And they were all like defending the one person, saying, oh, that never happened. They never said that. And I'm like, because, you know, Lisa had said they used foul language, they were hostile. And of course, the whole team is like, that never happened. I'm like, okay. So I walk out and she's like, are they leaving? And I'm like, no, they're not leaving. We have a visit. Like, we need them back there. And she's like, I don't want them here. I'm like, okay, let's just go focus. You go focus over here with your people. I'm going to go over here and help these guys because they're behind. And we, you know, and again, it's business as usual. Like, just push through it. Right? So like an hour or so later, Lisa comes out and she's in tears. And I'm like, what is going on? And her whole neck is red. And I'm like, what just happened? And she was like, he just pinned me against a locker. And I was like, what? So shenanigans, like, we had to call the police, we had to call security. And that's where I learned the very valuable lesson about not ignoring hostile behavior in the work environment. But it was my desire to get through this visit, to have a gold star, that resulted in me literally putting Lisa's like physical body in risk, that put my judgment at risk, almost cost me my job. I came within like a breath of losing my job. Luckily, it was a gold star whore that didn't want to lose their gold star whore that kept me in that job. I should have been dismissed. Like, I let that happen. It was under my watch that it happened. And she had tried. I mean, she still does this. We did this last night over the phone. She does this thing where she's like, well, you said this and I said this. And I was okay with that. And I was like, back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, she was like, well, I tried to tell you this way. And then I tried to tell you this way. I tried to tell you in several ways. That was a big lesson for me, that the gold star is not always worth it. And Lisa was a gold star casualty in that story. But I think that this is a good time to transition to the next section of what did we learn, right?
Yes.
So
yeah,
I would say that I have looked back over a career of horrible stories like that. And I think I've gotten better. I don't think I'm great.
so much better.
And again, like, I'm an adult now. Back then, I think I was really just a kid. I've taken lots and lots of classes on how not to be a workplace sociopath. I've dealt with many gold star whores that were the sociopath kind, which is the dark kind. Think like the boss from Working Girl.
Okay.
Like, that is a sociopath gold star whore that is not who you ever want to deal with. I've had more than I can count on my hands and toes over my career, over my lifetime. And I think that I've really learned how to kind of manage myself in those situations a lot better and protect my people, and protect myself from those types of people. And I think that's helped a lot. And I'll tell you guys that, you know, for anybody who's listening that's like kind of new to this whole concept, it's not just about performance. Right? It's not about being acknowledged for performing. We've always been acknowledged for performing since forever, like little kids, right? It's really about authentic acknowledgement from someone that you probably admire or someone that you think is special. Like for me, I still find myself when I put these people in those positions, I still find myself kind of doing some questionable things here and there. Like I did make someone cry last week, and that was not intentional, but I really wanted this thing to happen, and they were in the middle. And when I was trying to talk to them, like a rational, reasonable adult, they just kept going on these weird tantrums. And finally I was like, hey, I need you focused on what I'm talking to you about. You are not going to be successful because, of course, they made it about them. Lots of people do that. I'm used to that. I say this to friends is I always share a shared experience to show that I'm empathetic, not to make it about me. But there
Okay.
are lots of people that share their experience because they want to turn the conversation to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that can happen. People sometimes when they talk to me, they're like, oh, I want your help on this. I'm glad you called. I want your help on this. And it's like, oh, I didn't call you to talk about what you need. Like, I need something myself, but okay. But this person in particular just was relentless about felt things that they felt they deserved.
Okay.
And I got frustrated and grew tired of the fact that every time I was talking, I was getting talked over. And finally, I just cut to the point. And I was like, listen, in order for all of these things to happen, you have to literally be someone who you are never going to be unless you try to learn these things. Like,
Yeah.
just because I want to be a doctor doesn't mean I can call myself a doctor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to go to
Yeah.
school, you got to learn, you got to do all the stuff. And this person was not willing to do any of those things. And I lost my patience and I kind of snapped a little bit. And then when they started crying, I was like, this is not what I wanted. Like, I just wanted to talk about me and how you could help me. And this did not turn into that at all. So I still have to grow. I still have things I have to learn. But I think for the most part, I'm way more cognizant of some of the haunting things that could come out of my mouth when I'm talking to people.
Hey, look, I look back, Lisa, a lot of people that might have become casualties in my story. I was a villain in their story, I'm
Uh-huh.
sure. And I think what I've learned is that over the years, I've tried and made a very conscious effort. I've been able to do that in some instances, but it also, a lot of times, I look back and I think, probably didn't do so well.
Right.
Like I could have done better.
I think that every day. I mean, I have
Yeah.
encounters every day where I think to myself, either like I said, either I'm walking away and doing karate chopping while I'm walking because I'm kicking so much ass. And then literally the next conversation, I'm like, I am a novice amateur and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I'm totally flailing. But I think that that's something that I learned too, right? And that I would want to say to anybody out there who is kind of like trying to assess if they're a gold star whore or trying to understand the gold star whores around them is that you just got to take it. We're not all the same. Everyone is different. Our motivations are different. What we covet is different, right? I'm not always going to make the right decision. I give myself grace. I don't beat myself up like that anymore. There's no shame
Yeah.
associated with it. And there used to be a lot of shame. Like when I would try to tell these stories, I would cry because I just felt terrible. I felt awful.
I don't want you to
And
cry because
no, not at your story. I laughed hilariously at that because
but you know
that
what
was
though?
terrible but funny
You know what though
for me.
too? I think about it and I have reached out, kept in contact with a lot of people that I felt I damaged at some point, right? And a lot of times, to my surprise, they didn't see it that way. And they actually saw it that I pushed them to be better because my standards were so high or because my expectations were so high on certain
Hmm.
things. And I think that's what you did for me. There was never room to not one up ourselves. And I think I also have carried that into every job I've ever had. Why not? Why not shoot for the stars? Why not go big? It's go big or go home. And I think that helps people if they like you.
I have an episode on that. Don't worry.
It helps people to actually challenge themselves and move forward and do better, be better, I think too, because, you know, we really truly want the best.
And that's as long as your motivations are pure,
Yeah.
I feel like you're in good shape. So, looking back at our very long careers, I know we look fantastic, but we're older. What would you tell
Yeah.
your baby Gold Star whore?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah.
I would definitely tell my baby gold star whore to take the vacation, take the time, whatever that means, because you don't get a do-over. Becoming a gold star whore means that you sacrificed a lot of that.
Yep. Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
what I would say.
So I think that's really valuable because there's a lot of, I mean, I don't know that our younger babies, Gold Star whores out there are like, why would I give up my vacation? They're from a different generation, but there are some that are out there that are our age that are maybe just kind of coming to the having similar challenges or struggles. But I would tell my baby Gold Star whore that don't expect people to work as hard as you or care as much as you because they won't. And it doesn't make them bad people. It just means they're not part of your tribe. And that's okay. Like it doesn't make them bad people. And then the other thing would be that, you know, there are people who are going to get you. They're out there. Like, I know right now you're a big old weirdo in a sea of Barbies. Like, I am definitely an odd duck, and I know that. And it has always kind of been hard for me to fit into social situations sometimes because I am relentless. It is a relentless pursuit of whatever it is that's on the table. And most people get weirded out by that or they respond negatively. And I will say that hang in there because there are people in your future that get you, that see you and acknowledge you and champion you, and just hang in there. It's coming. And
Yeah.
that's what I would say to anybody else that's out there that's kind of like talking about that, you know, or thinking about that. Like, what advice would you give? And if you're struggling, trust me, there are people that you're going to encounter when you encounter your tribe, when you encounter like Lisa and I in the wild, like we're going to probably be like, "Oh my god, I love what you did. Oh my god, I love this. Like how did you do that?"
Yeah.
And we're going to really elevate you in a way that is going to make you recognize you're with your tribe. So there are people out there that will do that for you. And if you are out there, don't forget to lift other people up as well. That would be something that Lisa and I spend a lot of time talking about how we can lift others up, how we can raise people in rooms that aren't getting the credit they deserve. And I feel like that's a really important part of being a gold star whore is not just getting them for yourselves, but also getting them for others. And I think that that's something that can get lost as we're all trying to pursue sometimes our gold stars. So don't forget to stop and look around and
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge those others that, you know, might not be giving themselves that credit.
Something that you do really well, Lisa, is you are the person that stands up for somebody in a room they're not in. And that's really hard for people to do sometimes. And you do it all the time.
I had mentors that did not tolerate not lifting people up or saying things about people when they weren't in the room to defend themselves.
Yeah.
And it really like resonated with my values and ethics, you know, scaffolding around
Mm-hmm.
my leadership. And I am very proud of that because it's not always easy,
No,
100%.
no, it's not. But I do want to give you that gold star because
Thank you.
I truly think that that is a superpower that not everybody has.
Thanks. We want to hear from you about your Gold Star stories. We want to hear about your experiences, your Gold Star casualties, all that stuff. We want to hear about it because you matter. And we want to make sure that you understand this is your community and we're going to have fun and we might cry a little bit sometimes because it wasn't always easy, but we're going to always walk away better than what we showed up as. And
Yeah.
we want you to be part of that. Okay, so guys, hoes, it's time to go. So we're going to wrap up this episode. Please make sure that you guys like and subscribe. And please make sure that you guys give them hell this week. Like, go
Yeah.
out there and just rage against it and help other people, hold people's hands and lift them up with you. And I can't wait to talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, me too. Bye.
Bye.